All right, get ready, because today we are going to deep dive
Yeah.
into the Sabarimala Temple
Oh, yeah.
in India. And wow, this guide you sent over,
Hmm.
I'm already like fascinated.
Yeah.
We're talking intense rituals and a history that even ties into Buddhism, a
Wow.
pilgrimage unlike anything I've ever heard of.
Yeah, it really is a very unique blend.
Hmm.
You've got Lord Ayyappan at the center of it all, but the way this temple combines different, beliefs and practices,
Right.
it's really captivating.
Okay, so tell me more about this Lord Ayyappan.
Okay.
The guide says he's Hariharaputra, the son of both Vishnu and Jiva.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that kind of unusual?
It is,
What does
yeah.
that even mean for the people who worship him?
Yeah, you're right to pick up on that. It's not every day you find a deity with such a powerful lineage.
Right.
Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer.
Wow.
Imagine that kind of energy that represents.
Yeah.
It speaks to this idea of balance, embracing both creation and destruction as part of like a greater cosmic dance.
So are you saying the devotees are drawn to Ayyappan because he embodies this kind of duality?
I think it's definitely part of the appeal.
Though.
He's not just a god of one thing, right?
Yeah,
He represents a more holistic view of the universe.
I see.
And I think that's really reflected in the entire pilgrimage experience.
Speaking of the pilgrimage, this 41-day vow that male devotees take beforehand,
Oh, yeah.
that's intense.
Yeah.
Like no shaving, strict diet, even abstinence.
Like serious.
Like a complete life overhaul.
It's a powerful act of surrender and purification. And they wear these rudraksha or tulasi malabis kind of as a constant reminder of their commitment.
Oh, wow.
You have to understand that it's not just about the physical restrictions, right?
Yeah.
It's about detaching from worldly desires and focusing entirely on the spiritual journey.
Okay, so that makes the whole thing feel much deeper than just like following some rules, huh?
Right, exactly.
It's like a mental and spiritual cleanse
Yeah.
leading up to the main event. And speaking of unexpected things,
Yeah. The guide mentions that this temple might have originally been a Buddhist shrine.
really?
Like, what?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Right, it's a fascinating twist.
Yeah.
There's evidence suggesting it might have been dedicated to Avalokitesvara,
Okay.
a bodhisattva, which is kind of like a Buddhist saint known for compassion.
So how does a Buddhist shrine become a Hindu temple dedicated to Lord Ayyappan?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's hard to say for sure, but it suggests a period where these religions weren't so rigidly separated. Maybe they shared this space.
Right.
Maybe beliefs evolved over time, but it definitely adds another layer to this whole idea of blending different traditions.
Okay, so imagine you're a devotee. You've completed your 41-day vow. You've journeyed to the temple.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Oh, it's quite a journey.
I'm particularly curious about these 18 sacred steps everyone talks about.
Oh, the 18 steps, right?
Yeah.
So picture this. You're finally there, ready to enter the inner sanctum.
Sure. But to get there, you have to climb these 18 steps.
Oh.
And each step, they say, holds a specific meaning.
Hold on. So it's not just about climbing stairs.
No.
There's symbolism at play here.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
The first 5 steps, they represent the 5 senses.
Okay.
It's like you're leaving the physical world behind with each step.
Wow. Okay. I'm starting to see how this all ties together.
Yeah.
What comes after the 5 senses?
So then you hit the next 8 steps.
Right.
And those are for the 8 negative emotions you have to conquer.
Okay.
Anger, pride, jealousy, all those.
Right.
Think about actually climbing those steps. You're getting tired. You're frustrated.
Yeah.
It's like the architecture itself is designed to challenge you.
I get it. It's like turning a physical act
Yeah.
into this inner struggle for self-improvement.
Mm-hmm.
But there are 18 steps, and we've only covered 13. What about the rest?
Okay, so the next 3 represent the gunas, which are like the fundamental forces of nature.
Yeah.
Followed by the concepts of vidya, which is knowledge, and avidya, ignorance. You're literally stepping from ignorance to knowledge as you ascend.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So you finally reach the top. What happens then?
You've faced your senses, you've conquered your negative emotions, you've embraced knowledge over ignorance.
Yeah.
Now you're ready for the Nayabhishekam.
Now what now?
The Nayabhishekam.
Okay, break that down for me.
So imagine coconuts filled with ghee.
Okay.
You bring them as offerings, or the temple provides them.
Right.
The priests will crack them open, and the ghee is poured over the deity.
Wow.
It's this beautiful symbolic act of merging. The ghee representing the human soul, merging with the divine.
That's powerful imagery.
It is.
You've cleansed yourself, you've climbed the steps, and now you're offering this essence of yourself to Lord Ayyappan.
Exactly. It's about becoming one with the divine. It's the culmination of this whole journey.
Wow, but this journey, it's not without its controversies, right?
Oh, of course not.
The guide mentions this Makara festival, where a divine light appears, Makara Jyothi.
Right.
But then it says there's evidence suggesting that it might be man-made.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that?
Oh, yeah, the Makara Jyothi. It's a huge event, you know? Thousands gather to witness this light that appears on a distant hill.
Really?
It's considered a divine sign, a blessing from Lord Ayyappan himself.
Wow.
But in recent times, there have been, reports and investigations suggesting that the light might actually be a signal fire lit by people.
Hold on. So you're telling me this sacred light, witnessed by millions, as like a divine manifestation, might be just people with torches?
Well, that's what some are suggesting.
It's got to ruffle some feathers.
You can imagine the debate it sparked.
Yeah.
Does knowing it's potentially man-made diminish the spiritual experience for those who believe in its divine origin?
Yeah, this is where it gets tricky, right?
Yeah.
You have millions of people experiencing this light as a divine event. But if it's man-made, does that cheapen it somehow?
Right.
Or does it show the human desire to create these powerful experiences even if the source is different than we thought?
Exactly. It's a question of faith and belief. I think for some, the source of the light might not matter as much as the feeling it evokes, the sense of connection to something larger than themselves.
This is already blowing my mind.
I know.
And we haven't even touched on the legend of Lord Ayyappan himself.
Ooh, we're just getting started.
This story starts with a childless king and a divine intervention, leading to a mission to slay this fearsome demoness.
It's an epic tale.
Where do we even begin with that?
Well, let's start with the king of Pandalam. Desperate for an heir, he prays to the gods. And Shiva hears his plea, sending Dharmasasta, a divine being, to be born as his son.
So this child is keyed Lord Ayyappan.
Precisely. He is given the name Manikandan, and from the start, it's clear he's no ordinary child. He's destined to face the demoness Mahishi.
Wait, a demoness. This is starting to sound less like a religious story and more like an action movie.
Right.
Did Manikandan have superpowers?
Well, you could say that the legends depict him as incredibly strong, skilled in combat.
Right.
But there's this one story about his stepmother asking for tigress's milk.
Oh, wow.
It seems impossible, right?
Yeah, like sending a child to the forest to milk a tigress, that doesn't sound like the best parenting decision.
Exactly. But Manikandan isn't deterred.
Wow.
He ventures into the forest, faces incredible challenges, and returns not only with the milk, but also accompanied by tigers and tigresses.
No way.
It's a testament to his power over nature, his ability to tame even the wildest beasts.
Okay, so he's got the divine lineage, the strength, the connection to nature. But what about the demoness Mahishi? Did he actually defeat her?
That's the climax of the story.
Okay.
He confronts Mahishi in this fierce battle and ultimately vanquishes her, freeing the people from her tyranny.
Wow.
This act solidifies his status as a divine protector, someone who stands against evil and safeguards humanity.
So Manikandan, the child born from a divine intervention, becomes Lord Ayyappan.
Yes.
The demon slayer, the powerful deity worshipped at Sabarimala.
It's an origin story that explains so much about the reverence people have for him.
And it's not just about the gods and demons, right? There's a fascinating human element, too.
Yes.
In the story of Vavarswamy.
Yes, Vavarswamy.
The guide mentions him as Lord Ayyappan's Muslim friend.
Right.
I was struck by that.
Yeah.
It's not every day you see that kind of interfaith friendship depicted in religious narratives.
It's a testament to the inclusive spirit that we see even today at Sabarimala. According to the legend, Vavar was a brave warrior who fought alongside Ayyappan against Mahishi, and they forged this deep bond transcending religious differences.
And their friendship is still honored today, right?
It is.
There's a shrine dedicated to Vavar near the 18 steps.
Exactly. It's a reminder that devotion and respect can exist across religious boundaries.
Yeah.
It speaks to a more universal message of unity and understanding, which feels particularly relevant in our world today.
This deep dive has been full of surprises, like finding out the temple may have Buddhist roots.
Yeah.
That blend of history is fascinating.
It is.
What else can you tell me about the temple's evolution?
Well, while the exact timeline is unclear, The transition from a possible Buddhist shrine to a Hindu temple likely began sometime around the 10th or 11th centuries.
Okay.
This shift coincides with the rising popularity of Lord Ayyappan within Hinduism.
So are we talking about a gradual change, or was there a specific event that marked this transition?
It's probably a mix of both. The growing popularity of Ayyappan's legend would naturally draw more Hindu devotees to the site.
Right.
Legends also attribute the installation of the Ayyappan deity to a revered Hindu sage, Parashurama.
Oh, yeah.
This association with a major figure in Hinduism would have significantly strengthened the temple's connection to the faith.
Parashurama, the sage who's said to have created Kerala.
That's the one.
Wow, that's quite a figure to be connected to.
He is a major figure.
It definitely makes sense that his involvement would have solidified the temple's Hindu identity.
Absolutely. And as the temple's popularity grew, its rituals and traditions also evolved, incorporating elements from various streams of Hinduism.
Right.
The 41-day vow, the Nayabhishekam ritual, the symbolism of the 18 steps.
Right.
All of these practices developed over time, adding layers of meaning to the pilgrimage experience.
It's interesting how those practices create this multisensory journey for the pilgrim.
Yes.
You're not just observing, you're actively participating in your spiritual growth through physical acts and mental discipline.
Right.
It's like a full body and mind transformation.
Absolutely.
And let's not forget the setting itself.
Right.
This temple isn't just some grand structure in a city.
No.
It's nestled deep within the Periyar Tiger Reserve, a dense protected forest.
A beautiful and challenging location.
I keep picturing pilgrims trekking through this wild natural landscape to reach the temple.
Yeah, it's not an easy journey.
It's like the journey itself becomes a test of devotion and endurance.
Exactly. That connection to nature is a crucial part of the Sabarimala experience. It's about immersing yourself in the raw beauty of the natural world, recognizing the divine presence within all of creation.
Wow.
The forest becomes this sacred space, a place where you can shed your worldly worries and connect with something larger than yourself.
It adds a whole other dimension to the idea of pilgrimage.
It does.
It's not just about reaching a destination.
Right.
It's about the transformative journey through nature itself.
That's a great way to put it.
And that journey, it's not just about individual transformation, is it?
No, it's not.
You have millions of people undertaking this pilgrimage every year.
And millions.
This temple has to manage a massive influx of devotees, especially during peak season.
It's a logistical marvel.
That's what blows my mind.
Yeah.
The logistics of it all.
Feeding, housing, ensuring the safety of millions of people in a remote forest location. It's an incredible feat of organization.
Imagine the coordination involved.
Yeah.
You've got temple authorities, local communities,
Right.
even government agencies all working together to make it happen.
It's like a well-oiled machine.
It's a testament to human ingenuity and the power of collective effort.
It makes you realize that the Sabarimala Temple isn't just a religious site, it's also a hub of human activity.
Absolutely.
A place where faith intersects with culture, economics, and social dynamics.
It's a fascinating blend.
And that intersection creates both opportunities and challenges.
For sure.
One aspect we need to address is the temple's restriction on women of menstruating age.
They have a very sensitive topic.
The guide mentions that women between 10 and 55 are prohibited from entering the shrine.
Yes.
It's a controversial topic, to say the least.
It is.
What's the reasoning behind this restriction?
Well, it's rooted in the belief that Lord Ayyappan, as a celibate deity,
Should not be exposed to the presence of menstruating women. This belief is tied to traditional Hindu concepts of purity and ritual sanctity.
Right.
However, in recent years, this practice has faced growing criticism and legal
I
challenges.
can see why it's such a complex issue.
Yes.
You have deeply held religious beliefs clashing with contemporary ideas about gender equality and women's rights. It's a delicate balance to navigate.
Indeed, it raises fundamental questions about the evolution of traditions in a changing world.
Right.
How do we reconcile ancient beliefs with modern values? How do we ensure inclusivity while respecting religious freedom?
Yeah.
These are questions that continue to be debated, not just in India, but in many societies around the world.
This deep dive has been incredibly insightful. We've uncovered so much about the Sabarimala Temple.
Yes, we have.
From the deity's unique origins and the symbolism embedded in every step and ritual to the temple's complex history,
Right.
its inclusive spirit, and its impact on the lives of millions And remember, this is just a glimpse into the rich tapestry of the Sabarimala Temple. There's always more to learn, more to explore, more to ponder.
This deep dive has definitely sparked my curiosity.
Good.
I feel like I've only scratched the surface.
There's always more to discover.
Who knows? Maybe one day I'll even make the pilgrimage myself.
And if you do, I have no doubt it will be a transformative experience.
I bet. Until then,
Yes.
keep seeking.
Keep questioning.
And keep exploring the fascinating world of faith and belief.
Well said.
This has been great.
It has.
I'm glad we got to deep dive into this topic.
Me too.
You know, with millions of pilgrims visiting each year, there must be significant revenue generated.
Oh, absolutely.
Where does all that money go?
That's a great question.
How is the temple managed from a financial perspective?
Yeah, that's a great question. And honestly, one I hadn't even considered. You'd think a pilgrimage of this scale, it would have a huge economic impact.
Oh, it does. Absolutely.
So where does the money come from? Is it all donations from devotees?
Donations are a big part of it.
Okay.
Think about it. You have people coming from all walks of life,
Right.
wanting to show their devotion, to give thanks, or maybe even to seek blessings.
Right.
And they offer money, gold, even coconuts for the Nayabhishekam ritual.
That's right. We talked about the ghee offerings.
Exactly.
So all of that adds up.
It definitely does. And then you have the revenue from services provided by the temple.
Okay.
Things like accommodation for pilgrims, the sale of prasad, which is like a sacred food offering.
Okay.
It all contributes to the temple's finances.
All right. So we have donations, revenue from services.
Right.
But with so much money coming in, how is it all managed? Who's in charge of the temple's finances?
That's where things get interesting.
Okay.
The Sabarimala Temple is actually managed by a board called the Travancore Devaswom Board.
Okay.
It's a government-controlled body responsible for administering a number of temples in the region.
So it's not like a private entity. The government actually plays a role in overseeing the temple's operations.
Exactly. And because it's a government body, there's a level of transparency and accountability that you might not see in other religious institutions. The board has to publish financial reports detailing how the money is being used.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what does the money get spent on? I imagine upkeep of the temple itself must be a significant expense.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Maintaining a temple complex of this scale, especially in a remote forest location, isn't cheap.
Right.
You have to think about repairs, renovations, ensuring basic facilities for the millions of pilgrims who visit.
And it's not just about the physical structure, is it?
No.
There's also the priests, the staff, the security personnel.
Right.
All of that requires funding.
Absolutely. Salaries, training, providing accommodation for the temple staff. It's a massive operation.
Right.
And then you have the social welfare activities that the Devaswom board undertakes.
Social welfare activities. Tell me more about that.
So the board uses a portion of the temple's revenue to fund hospitals, schools, and other social programs in the surrounding areas.
Wow.
It's like a way of giving back to the community, using the blessings of Lord Ayyappan to improve the lives of those in need.
That's amazing. It's like this whole ecosystem built around the temple supporting both the spiritual and material needs of the people.
Exactly.
You have the pilgrims seeking blessings.
Yeah.
The temple providing a space for worship, and the revenue generated being used to uplift the community. It's a beautiful cycle.
It's a testament to the interconnectedness of faith.
Yeah.
I can... It's of worship.
Right.
It's a microcosm of Indian society, reflecting both its challenges and its potential.
This deep dive has been an incredible journey.
It has.
We've uncovered so much of the Sabarimala Temple, for the deity's unique origins and the symbolism embedded in every step and ritual, to the temple's complex history, its inclusive spirit, and its impact on the lives of millions.
I remember this is just a glimpse into the rich tapestry of the Sabarimala Temple.
Right.
There's always more to learn, more to explore, more to ponder.
This deep dive has definitely sparked my curiosity.
Good.
I feel like we've only scratched the surface.
There's always more to discover.
Who knows? Maybe one day I'll even make the pilgrimage myself.
And if you do, I have no doubt it will be a transformative experience.
I bet. Well, to all our listeners,
yes,
we encourage you to continue your own deep dives into the Sabarimala Temple.
It's a fascinating journey.
This ancient site of pilgrimage has much to teach us about history, culture, spirituality, and ourselves.